main event, a hot main event, scorching hot. You put it smack dab in the middle of the sun on your heat index column, which everybody can check out by becoming a Brass Ring Media member. Patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. Yeah, it's Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins taking on The Rock and Roman Reigns in a tag team match. If Cody and Seth win, the bloodline is barred from ringside during Sunday's main event title match between Roman and Cody. If The Rock and Roman win, it is bloodline rules, which means anything goes on Sunday for the same match, that same title match. So, I mean, dude, this is one of the hottest matches that they've built in a long time. Two great angles back to back, with the idea and the goal of getting big time heat on the heels, in this case, Rock and Roman Reigns. What'd you think? I mean, what do you think now that you look back on this, from that February day in Vegas to when it all kind of started to now where we're just a few days out of WrestleMania? I mean, this is like a top 10 build for WrestleMania for sure, without question, and probably higher than that.
Yeah, it needs a Limp Bizkit song playing in the background.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure someone will do that on Squared Circle, and I will definitely be loving and consuming that. But the WWE propaganda got to you, Zach. This started the week before the Vegas.
Right. How could I forget? Yes.
So from that moment, it is a grand slam. If you could score 5 runs on a hit, I think it would be that. From the thing in Vegas, I think they have kept that momentum. That was a big moment, an awesome moment, a fun moment. They've carried it through. They've kept it hot. The angle last night to open the show I thought was good. The closing thing with the belt whips. I mean, geez. Did either of those guys post the Instagram photo of the welts? I was waiting to see that. I don't know. Because there was a couple
I haven't
where
seen
it
it, but man.
I mean, I'm watching it, and when Seth stood up and he was it looked like he was actually fighting back a little bit. He was all right, dude, that's enough. And then Roman grabbed him and held him, and Rock whipped him. And then Cody was oh God, I'm getting more. And then he got tied up in the ropes, and he didn't stay in the ropes he probably would have if he was not okay, dude, I'm good. And flipped off out of the ropes. That was some legit stuff going on. I thought
it's a freaking weight belt. God,
you hear the tassels of the metal on the back too. It was rough, and it was awesome. And it made Rock look like the final boss. I love the framing when Jay comes out, and then was it Jay and Jimmy went to the back, and then
they fought to the back.
Tossed Jay and walked out. That was awesome. It was
so good.
Such a video game moment, and that's obviously what he's going for. But yeah, I mean, they've done a good job of Rock looks more like the enforcer for Roman. So Roman still looks, I think, like the main guy, but that could change this weekend depending on what happens. So yeah, I mean, 10 out of 10, thumbs up. They've done a great job. It's the hottest angle in pro wrestling since,
since a long time. I mean,
Cena Rock. Cena Rock 1. I mean, probably for people inside, it's probably the Punk and Cena unification match or something back in that, and then Alberto coming in. I mean, gotta be something I'm missing here. But even just a WrestleMania build. I mean, this is tons of heat. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. They've done a good job. Yeah, it's business is booming for a reason. So.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. I think they've really hit a home run here. Grand Slam. I mean, it's been, on the high end. I think, The Rock, I think they're slowly understanding how to manage The Rock and the reaction that he gets in terms of okay, people are going to react to him like he's a big star. How do we fight that? How do we try to fight that a little bit? I think they're starting to figure out how to do that. One of the things that I've liked most about the last 2 weeks is they've made Rock menacing physically, he's not just a guy that's going to throw some funny verbal jabs at you, but he is going to beat you to a bloody pulp, and he looks the part, but you haven't seen him vicious like that in a really, 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 really long time. And I think it's really great that they struck that note and found that part of this, because I think it's helped like the seriousness of the match, the drama of the match. I think it's really helped in that regard. Last night I thought was Roman's best night in the whole feud. Standing next to Rock, I thought he looked his equal finally there.
Mhm.
I thought The Rock played up that too, where he kind of, I think it's really hard for Rock to like yield to somebody else out there. And, you know, I kind of saw a Rock that was like, okay, don't move, don't do anything. Let Roman do his thing. Like, stay.
Yeah.
He's like a puppy that like there's a treat in front of him and like you're just like it's like stay. But I thought Roman had a great night. He's overconfident. He conveyed that really well. So I think they're piping hot with this going into the match. Now, here's my question to you: as far as the finish goes, in like WWE lore, baby faces get beat up on the show before the event. 8 times out of 10, they're going to go on and they're going to win.
Yeah.
Are you sticking with that here, or is this, more, the bloodline gets the W over Seth or something? Or maybe not. Or how do you think this finishes out, like specifically? Who pins who?
Yeah, it's tough, right? I think the most ideal story for me is I want Roman and Cody to be a true singles match where Roman kicks out of a couple crossroads, Cody kicks out of some spears, right? That classic WWE WrestleMania main event, right? Without any shenanigans. I think the story's been too long and there's too much on the line to have Solo come out and Jay takes him out and Rock come out and Seth takes him out, right? There's just too much of that, in my opinion, in this story. I think a clean 1v1, best man wins is the only way for Cody to win this thing. Unless you want to do the whole like Avengers, in-game thing where good guys team up to take on the bad guys, whatever. But we've seen that a lot in these. That being said, like it seems like whoever wins here is like more the red herring for like whatever, if I'm Paul Levesque, I want to put as much doubt in the viewer's mind that Cody's going to win on Sunday, right? You don't want it to be as much of a foregone conclusion. Even though I think the story's better for the bloodline to lose and they screw over Seth because that's not at all in the stipulation and they're pissed. So they come out and destroy Seth.
That's
and then
true.
you can tell stories there like you could do Seth and Solo as a match or whatever, right? The most likely thing is I think Seth eats the pin. It's bloodline rules. And then there's like some sort of coalition of good guys in WWE that finally stand up to Roman. Maybe the whole good guy locker room is out there at ringside, comes out as one unit, and stops the 3 or 4 guys, Rock and Solo and Jimmy from doing stuff. And then it's a lumberjack match, and they all cheer him on as Cody wins. Like, is that the most compelling way to tell that story? I don't think. But I do think the bloodline, I think Rock's in a match at WrestleMania. He's probably going to win it. He's probably going to pin Seth, and that can lead to stuff down the line as well. So that's my pick, but I think it's way better if the baby faces win night one. But it makes sense why you want to divert the audience and be like, oh man, how's Cody going to get out of this one? That story I understand makes sense in that moment, but like for the long term totality of like, hey, WrestleMania 40, the story 20 years from now, when you go back and watch it on whatever on Netflix, I think it's a better story to tell it as like the babyfaces win both nights, but I'm going to go with the heels winning. Seth eating the pin, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going with that too. I agree that I think the more compelling answer here is the babyfaces win, and then everybody gets to be excited about a singles match, Cody versus Roman, straight up. You can have this great 20-minute epic if you wanted to, WrestleMania or WWE style epic match. But the problem is like, I can't get there in my head because Roman's not going to like Roman can't take the pin in that
Yeah.
match, in the tag match, because he's going to eat it the next night. So you can't like give away the optics of Roman losing just 24 hours before you're going to do it again. So you can't have that. And then like if Cody, like you have business in Cody versus Rock now. So like you don't really want to give away Cody beating the Rock in that tag match either, because you want to go to that. I guess you could use that as like a storyline later, but I still don't think you want to like show that really either the night before. So there's and Seth certainly can't pin either one of those two. So you're kind of like in a corner with no way out in terms of that. So I think like as much as it fits for that to go that way, like just the pieces just don't line up for it to happen. Like it's like in terms of like how do you actually do it? Unless you're going to have Cody beat The Rock and then beat Roman the next night, which is massive. I mean, I guess if you really want to crown a guy, like that's pretty big. I just don't see them doing that. And so I think they go the reverse route, which is we're going to stack the deck against Cody. And here's the mountain. He's going to have to scale this mountain, climb it to win the world title. And that's what you're going to see him do on Sunday. So yeah, I'm in lockstep with you on that.